Nelson Mandela was more than a man, he was a symbol of hope. Born in 1918 in a small village in South Africa, Mandela became a global icon. He dedicated his life to fighting injustice. He opposed the brutal system of apartheid. This system segregated people based on race. Mandela's journey was long and arduous. He faced imprisonment for 27 years, yet he emerged from prison with a message of forgiveness. He called for reconciliation. He led South Africa through a peaceful transition to democracy. He became the country's first black president in 1994. Mandela's commitment to equality and justice resonated far beyond South Africa's borders. He inspired the world. He showed the power of forgiveness. Mandela's life story is a testament to courage, resilience, and the unwavering belief in the power of humanity. His legacy continues to inspire generations to fight for justice and equality. Nelson Mandela's roots were humble. He was born Rolihlahla Mandela on July 18, 1918. His birthplace was a small village called Mvezo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. He was part of the Thembu people. His father was a local chief and councillor. Mandela's formal education began at a local mission school. He excelled in his studies. He later attended Clarkbury Boarding Institute. There he developed a passion for history and boxing. He went on to Healdtown, a prestigious Methodist school. Mandela's thirst for knowledge led him to Fort Hare University. He studied law, hoping to use his education to fight for social justice. However, his time at Fort Hare was cut short. He was expelled for participating in a student protest. This experience ignited his passion for activism. The 1940s marked a turning point in South Africa. The apartheid regime tightened its grip on power. This system of racial segregation and discrimination deeply troubled Mandela. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress. He quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a key figure in the ANC Youth League. Mandela, along with Oliver Tambo and Walter Sisulu, spearheaded the ANC's Defiance campaign in 1952. This campaign called for non-violent civil disobedience against unjust laws. Thousands of South Africans, including Mandela, were arrested. This campaign thrust Mandela into the national spotlight. His early activism with the ANC, marked by peaceful protests and defiance, demonstrated his unwavering commitment to justice. Mandela's courage and determination inspired many to join the struggle against apartheid. He became a symbol of hope for a better future. As the apartheid regime grew increasingly threatened by the ANC's growing influence, it responded with brutal repression. In 1956, Nelson Mandela and 155 other activists were arrested on charges of treason. This marked the beginning of the infamous Treason trial. It lasted for 4 long years. During the trial, Mandela and his co-accused used the courtroom as a platform. They exposed the injustices of apartheid. Despite facing the possibility of the death penalty, Mandela remained defiant. He refused to be silenced. The trial ended in 1961 with the acquittal of all the accused. However, it was short-lived. The apartheid government, determined to crush dissent, outlawed the ANC. Mandela was forced to go underground. In 1964, Nelson Mandela and several other ANC leaders were arrested at their hideout in Rivonia. They were charged with sabotage and other crimes. Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment. He was sent to the notorious Robben Island prison. This marked the beginning of his long and arduous journey behind bars. Despite the dehumanizing conditions, Mandela's spirit remained unbroken. He used his time in prison to educate himself. He earned a law degree from the University of London through a correspondence program. Mandela also became a mentor to his fellow prisoners. He encouraged them to educate themselves. He fostered a sense of camaraderie and hope within the prison walls. As the years turned into decades, Nelson Mandela's imprisonment became an international symbol of the injustice of apartheid. People around the world rallied to his cause, demanding his release and the end of apartheid. In the 1980s, South Africa faced increasing internal unrest and international sanctions. The apartheid regime began to realize that change was inevitable. In 1990, after 27 years of imprisonment, Nelson Mandela walked free. His release was a momentous occasion met with jubilation and hope both within South Africa and across the globe. Mandela emerged from prison not as a bitter man consumed by hatred, but as a leader committed to dialogue and reconciliation. He immediately called for peace and urged his supporters to refrain from violence. Mandela, along with President F.W. de Klerk, embarked on a historic journey of negotiation. They worked tirelessly to dismantle the apartheid system and create a new constitution for a democratic South Africa. Their efforts culminated in the country's first multiracial elections in 1994. Mandela's leadership was instrumental in the peaceful transition to democracy. In 1994, Nelson Mandela made history once again. He was inaugurated as South Africa's first black president. This marked the end of centuries of racial segregation and the beginning of a new era for the nation. Mandela's presidency was defined by his commitment to reconciliation and nation-building. He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, or TRC. This commission provided a platform for victims and perpetrators of apartheid-era crimes to share their stories and seek forgiveness. Mandela also focused on addressing the socio-economic inequalities that were deeply entrenched in South African society. His government implemented policies aimed at improving access to housing, education, and healthcare for all South Africans. Mandela's leadership transcended politics. He used the 1995 Rugby World Cup, hosted by South Africa, as an opportunity to foster national unity. Nelson Mandela's vision for South Africa extended beyond simply dismantling the apartheid system. He dreamt of a rainbow nation, a society where people of all races could live together in harmony. He believed that true reconciliation required more than just political change. It demanded a fundamental shift in attitudes and perceptions. Mandela led by example. He reached out to his former oppressors, embracing them with forgiveness and understanding. He appointed white South Africans to key positions in his government, demonstrating his commitment to inclusivity. He traveled the country tirelessly, meeting with people from all walks of life. Mandela's message of reconciliation resonated deeply with South Africans. He inspired a spirit of unity and forgiveness that transcended racial divides. After serving a single term as president, Nelson Mandela retired from politics in 1999. However, his commitment to social justice and human rights remained as strong as ever. He continued to use his immense moral authority to advocate for peace, equality, and development both within South Africa and on the global stage. Mandela established the Nelson Mandela Foundation in 1999. This foundation focused on addressing critical social issues such as HIV/AIDS, poverty, and illiteracy. He became a vocal advocate for HIV/AIDS awareness and treatment, challenging the stigma surrounding the disease. Mandela's post-presidency was marked by his unwavering commitment to using his influence to make a positive difference in the world. He traveled extensively, meeting with world leaders, speaking at international forums, and lending his support to various charitable causes. Mandela's efforts reached far and wide, impacting lives across continents and fostering a spirit of unity and compassion. Nelson Mandela's legacy extends far beyond the borders of South Africa. He inspired millions of people around the world with his message of hope, forgiveness, and the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. His life story serves as a testament to the transformative power of courage, resilience, and unwavering belief in the pursuit of justice. Mandela's unwavering commitment to equality and human rights challenged the world to confront its own prejudices and strive for a more just and equitable society. His example inspired countless individuals to stand up for what they believe in, to fight for justice, and to never give up hope for a better future. Mandela's legacy continues to inspire generations to strive for a world where every individual is treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their race, ethnicity, or background. His life story serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in the face of immense adversity, the human spirit can triumph. Mandela's message of reconciliation and forgiveness remains as relevant and powerful today as it was during his lifetime. Nelson Mandela passed away on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95. His death was met with an outpouring of grief and tributes from around the world. Memorials and statues have been erected in his honor across the globe. His image adorns murals, stamps, and banknotes. The United Nations declared July 18th Mandela's birthday as Nelson Mandela International Day, a day dedicated to promoting peace, social justice, and global citizenship. But perhaps the most enduring tribute to Mandela is the enduring power of his message. His words continue to inspire, challenge, and uplift people around the world. Nelson Mandela's legacy is not confined to history books or monuments. It lives on in the hearts and minds of those who continue to be inspired by his life and work. His message of hope, forgiveness, and the unwavering pursuit of justice remains as relevant and powerful today as it was during his lifetime.